This guy is worse than you thought. Hello everyone, it's Mr. Chol delivering an update. A few videos ago, I talked about this guy in praise of Shadows, who exposed a bunch of other YouTubers such as Wendy Goon, Mutahar, Turkey Tom, Brandon Buckingham, and many others. And his reasons behind exposing those people were just horrible. He complained how Wendy Goon was more successful than him because he was clearly being jealous, and he complained how those YouTubers were following people who may have done questionable things. Just stupid arguments, and this was such a rabbit hole that I did not get everything in that video. But also, he criticized people for wearing Hawaiian shirts while he himself was wearing one.
Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt?
You wear a Hawaiian shirt. Now, the reason why I did not talk about this specific scene in my previous video is because I legitimately thought this was a joke, that this was satire. I thought he was just wearing a Hawaiian shirt right then to illustrate some kind of point. But no, apparently this guy was really that stupid. And he slandered a bunch of people. He criticized Brandon Buckingham for threatening to R-word someone, when we all know this was a lie made up by Sneeko. He did poor research and yet decided to make a video over 2 hours long. Now, he received so much backlash that he apparently deleted that whole video, which does not make him look good. It basically shows that he wants to escape responsibility rather than owning up to his mistakes. And you can see that this is the case because apparently some of his Discord messages got leaked. So apparently his Discord name is Zane and he uses pronouns, even though it's like 99% obvious that this is a male. So those pronouns let you know immediately what kind of person he is. The kind of person that complains all the time and is hard to work with. And here he says, "Real talk, do y'all think I can come back from this? Pretty sad tonight, to be fully honest. If I just start back with my normal kind of work, do you all think things will be fine in the long run? Well, no. First, you gotta properly apologize and own up to your mistakes. Then you can go back to your normal stuff and pray that you can still save your career." Then he also says, "Yeah, I knew this was going to get rough, but it's harder than I anticipated. The rest of the year is supposed to be a lot of fun. I have even cancelled 2 videos in the schedule to replace them with more on-brand ideas. I just couldn't live with myself if I prevented my partner from having a good life because of my decisions. That's what has been on my mind the most here. I just hope that when I come back things will be well received. I've decided to leave Twitter completely. A lot of YouTubers have, and I made the mistake of staying there when they took their exit. Do you wanna know the big mistake this guy has made? The fact that this horrible video had the word conservative in the title and Ben Shapiro in the thumbnail. This guy apparently built his career off of talking about horror movies, but the moment he fell off, and he fell hard, was when he decided to involve politics. You should not suddenly talk about politics, and it doesn't matter whether you're a leftist, rightist, uppist, or downist. I'm just gonna be blunt here. Politics are boring! As soon as you start talking about politics, 90% of everyone who listens to you will literally fall asleep because of how boring it is. People like Ben Shapiro can get away with that because they already have an established audience, which consists of that 10% that actually find politics interesting. But guess what? You probably don't have that audience. This is why, if you talk about horror media, you should just stick to horror media and never go into politics. Furthermore, if you talk about politics, you have to do a lot of research, and it might not be the most complicated subject in the world, but it's a subject where you cannot afford being wrong, because that's when you end up becoming Hassan Piker or, well, your new self. People are now calling you out because you made poor research. You thought Brandon Buckingham did something he did not actually do. And even me, as someone who doesn't give a crap about politics, know it was Sneeko who unjustly portrayed Brandon Buckingham as a monster. But there's more. Oh yeah, nobody in the video has actually refuted any of what I said, lol. They only point out small individual things that are wrong, but don't actually go so far as to say that what I said wasn't right. Like, what even is there to refute? Oh yeah, I wasn't actually wearing a Hawaiian shirt, except I was, but guess what? So are you in this video, so it means nothing. And all the slander he has done is common sense. We already know Brandon Buckingham is innocent, and we already know most of that stuff. You, my fella, are not entitled to having Brandon Buckingham refute your incompetence. I hope so. I always knew I would be hated by some, but I really didn't think this would be a career-ending move. Yes, it is kind of sad how you can ruin all your established success with only one video, and this is why you should make a good apology, so that you show your viewers that what I did was wrong, but I have learned from it and I will never make the same mistake again. So let's take a look at his apologies. Hey everyone, sorry for not saying anything sooner. I wanted to take a few days to clear my mind and genuinely listen to the conversation going on around this video before I addressed it. Flat out, I let my emotions get the best out of me here. This wasn't my best work and this wasn't my best self. This was made out of anger, and I should never lower myself to do that. And before I say anything, I should say sorry to you for engaging myself this way. I will not be taking on another project like this again. You know me as being a media analysis channel, and that is what I should be. I should promote love in horror through providing a positive example. I thought that I was doing good here, and I think to an extent I did do some good, but I could have gone about it differently. This was not perfect and needed more time in the oven, pure and simple, and that was totally not me. The past few years have been a very dark time for me. Don't do that, don't play the victim, don't try to elicit sympathy out of your viewers. The slow gradual decline in the channel algorithmically following The Hills Have Eyes had built a genuine sadness that has followed me a lot. The realities of the situation meant that I had to make a new video every month or so, and under those circumstances there would be times where I would not be satisfied with my work, but still had to publish a video because I would be broke if I didn't. And after my confrontation with Wendigoon's fans late last year calling me a faggot so many times, I built up such an anger at how I had been treated that I decided that I wanted to do a video about my personal situation, mixed with the deep growing conservative nature within certain sections of horror. I thought this was a good idea. I thought it would promote a conversation that needed to be had. I thought and do still think that his level of social power is dangerous, but my video should have probably just focused on the section related to The Hills Have Eyes, and I do see that now. Now here we have an apology he made on his YouTube community, except he also deleted it, so this screenshot is archived, and he says, "One last quick note. Hey everyone, I have already publicly addressed this on Twitter and Patreon, but I thought I would do one community note before I left. I have decided it is best at the moment to take down the entire bad conservative horror video. It does not represent me and who I wish to be as a person or a creator. Here's my advice. When you delete it, it makes you look irresponsible. Instead, change the title or description of the video into something like, 'Warning, I no longer approve of the things said in the video,' but keep it up so that other people can learn from your mistakes. Anyways, let's continue. I admit that I messed up pretty badly in my delivery and made a lot of mistakes, and I really am sorry for that. If I could do it again, I obviously would have done everything differently. This kind of content is not my forte, and I have avoided it in the past because of that. After being harassed in December by Wendigoon fans and called slurs dozens of times, I was deeply upset over how I had been treated and my perception of him not calling off the attack. The reason he did not call off the attack is because he doesn't have that much control over his fans. Also, it is possible some of those attackers were not his fans, but your previous fans. Just saying. I acted out of hurt and acted in a way uncharacteristic of myself. Some people have described the video as being very raw, but with that comes an element of being underbaked. I didn't do the level of research I should and normally would have done. I messed up there and fully acknowledge that in every way, so I am taking it down. Now he doesn't address what he has done. He's like all the other generic celebrity apologies. I'm sorry for everything I did. And I get that your followers already know what you have done and so you don't feel the need to explain to them what you have done. But this is not for them. This is for you. You need to understand what you did wrong. You were a jealous douchebag who slandered a bunch of people, doing poor research and talking about politics. Now, my advice to this guy would be to actually make an apology video on his YouTube channel and not delete it.